So it's kind of rare for there to be some kind of breaking rumors or Xbox news over the weekends, but here we are, and it's not exactly something that is fun to talk about or fun to announce, in my opinion. This is exactly what I think nobody wanted to see, and at the end of the day, it's honestly just one of those things where you just kind of have to just take it for what it is and just say, okay, well, I mean, if this is the case, then I guess Xbox is really kind of screwed and dead. So, yeah, this is going to be sort of hard to hear. Now, I will say that right now, this is just a bit of a rumor, and it's not even a bit of a rumor. Apparently, this is like people are talking about this that are well known for being accurate when it comes to like leaks and things like that. So yeah, it's going to be a super interesting video. Obviously it's a bit shocking to kind of take this all in. If this does turn out to be true, I don't think that it's really the most shocking piece of evidence that we've ever had. Or most shocking thing that we've ever seen from Microsoft. It actually kind of maybe comes as a bit of a situation where, yeah, it's maybe easy to see this coming. So I do want to get into this because I find it to be, very interesting. So according to this, the future of Xbox is software publishing, and as the next console generation is even in doubt that they will even do one, according to this latest bit of news. And like I said, this is stuff that I've been following like overnight and things like that. So it's been claimed by a reliable insider that Microsoft is planning some intense changes for the Xbox brand in the coming months. First, it's been suggested there will be a massive round of layoffs heading into Q1 2026, which is honestly hardly a leap, and that once the concrete plans for the next generation, what once were concrete plans for the next-gen console are now up in the air and might never materialize at all. So, I mean, those are two bad things right there. Obviously, Microsoft has already laid off thousands of people, even though they're supposedly making more money than they ever have. They fired thousands of people, closed down studios, canceled multiple games, canceled multiple third-party games that they had exclusivity deals with. They raised the prices of their consoles twice within the last 4 months. Now they raised the price of Game Pass, and we're starting to kind of paint a little bit of a clearer picture. The claims go on to suggest that the future of Xbox is in games publishing and not hardware, with the brand focusing on the top performing IPs within its portfolio and no longer worrying about manufacturing traditional consoles. Before diving in, it should be stressed that take this with a grain of salt, but the insider was given gas by The Verge's Tom Warren during the most recent episode of the Xbox Era podcast, suggesting the source knows a lot about what goes on internally at Microsoft. So is the next Xbox in critical condition right now? Before I get into this little bit of news right here, though, it's like people will really kind of wonder, oh, well, is it really in trouble and things like that? Well, we know that Microsoft was working on a handheld that was going to let you play your actual console games and stuff like that, and that was apparently canceled at one point. People say it was postponed or whatever, but I mean, if they could push that to the side, why wouldn't they push their next console to the side? But anyway, in a post that surfaced, Sneakers SO, an insider who successfully tipped and hinted at the Xbox shift towards third-party publishing and plans to replace staff with AI tools at Microsoft, dropped a huge rumor regarding the future of Xbox hardware. They wrote, quote, "Without going into too much detail, not long after the last round of layoffs, next one should be coming in Q1 26, by the way, and it's going to be just as massive as the last one. Some rumblings out of Xbox started coming out that were a little bit hard to believe. The ramifications of Call of Duty Game Pass Gambit not working out were just starting to get properly measured, and the thing that really stuck out to me was that suddenly really concrete plans for actual Microsoft hardware went from being definitive to up in the air, which was really startling given that this thing was meant to be out relatively soon. It was one of those situations where, despite folks being told, hey, we want to pull the trigger on this in 2026, the steps you would need to take the lead up into delivering a new console gen weren't being met. Lots of things that were sure things started getting pushed. The Costco retailer pulling Xbox, and apparently they are one of many that we'll learn soon about. To me, that's all I needed to know. To sum it up, the future of Xbox is software publishing with a significant honed-in focus on profitable IPs, Call of Duty, World of Warcraft, Minecraft, Candy Crush, Forza Horizon. Cloud gaming being the home of the quote-unquote Xbox platform, transitioning Game Pass into basically becoming the point of entry subscription for xCloud access, which will continue to drive its price tag higher. They aren't just done yet either. and releasing their software on any device that has a marketplace and users willing to buy their titles. Maybe some OEM thing will take up the Xbox name, but given that what is clearly a collapse in favorable mindshare and faith in the brand, I'm not sure a third-party OEM is going to want to have an Xbox console by the time Microsoft is done reoriented of its division. While the incoming layoffs might be inevitable at this point, the more interesting points that they talk about refer to the decline of the next-gen Xbox hardware itself. It has long been rumored and suggested that Microsoft will pull out of manufacturing traditional consoles, as, after all, everything can now be an Xbox. Following the recent Game Pass scandal that saw a massive price hike piss off players worldwide, Microsoft finds itself in a fragile spot with the Xbox brands. As they point out, Costco no longer sells Xbox consoles, and it has been suggested that more retailers are preparing to drop the hardware as well. The summing up of the statements is something that should be concerning for Xbox fans everywhere, as it suggests that more price hikes are incoming as Microsoft zeroes in on cloud gaming and focuses in on the more profitable IPs like Call of Duty, Minecraft, and Forza. The rumor ends with a little conjecture, with them suggesting that even an OEM manufacturer wouldn't want to take up the Xbox brand, which is what Asus did recently with the ROG Xbox Ally series. Again, go away from this with the understanding that it is a rumor, and as such it should be taken as the gospel. So again, we're kind of looking at this and we're seeing, kind of what's going on with this. There's multiple things that I would kind of suggest from this, right? Like, we never know kind of what's going to happen in the gaming world. It's interesting the way that Microsoft is kind of going about this, but again, the fact that they've raised prices on their hardware to an exorbitant amount, $800 for the 2 terabyte, $650 just for the standard one that was $500. A few years ago, doesn't make a whole heck of a lot of sense. Not only that, but you have the shocking, just deafening quiet from Microsoft themselves. Like, they aren't saying anything, to be honest with you. And you've got people like Tom Warren, who is kind of in a really sad situation, to be honest with you. And it's honestly, for me anyway, I'm really kind of surprised that Microsoft has not said anything, right? Like, there's like a lot of these types of announcements going on right now. There's a lot of these rumors going on, and when we look at what has happened to Microsoft, it's kind of easy to sit there and go, okay, well, of course they'll carry on, but again, there's no guarantee that they will. That's the thing that I kind of like to talk about, is you don't have a guarantee that they will carry on. I think the main reason why is because they spent so much money on Call of Duty. I mean, we found out now that they lost over $250 million by having that in Game Pass, and Game Pass didn't really grow from it. So I mean, that's really sort of a negative spot to be in if you're Microsoft, right? Like, you've made all these bets on Game Pass, you've made bets on this, you've made bets on that, and then you have a situation where nothing's necessarily paying off the way that it should, and it's just one of those things where we keep seeing worse and worse things pop up. It's really unfortunate situation. And would it totally shock me? I mean, listen, just 3 months ago, Microsoft made a tweet about, hey, we're excited about the future of Xbox hardware, etc., etc. And now we're seeing, maybe it was going to be something that come out next year even, or whatever. But yeah, that doesn't look like it's going to be the case now. Again, you sort of question it, like the higher up, and I'm not giving Phil Spencer a pass, because obviously I feel like if he's has any type of respect for himself, and he doesn't have any say so, he would have left, right? Like, I feel like he's still in the mix or whatever, and he's still happy to get a paycheck. So, there is that. You know what I mean? So, outside of that, I feel like, not having your consoles available at any stores is going to be a terrible thing. Why would developers even bother with an Xbox version? I know people go, oh, well, it'll just be a PC. Well, it's like, that's not a console then anyway, and like, I've long kind of felt that way, that Microsoft would really put themselves in a bad situation. But here, from the sounds of it, it doesn't even look like they're going to try anything for the next gen, and it looks like it might be worse than we even thought. Like I said, the rumor mills are kind of shaking all over the place on this. I will link this so everybody can watch it. But again, so far it doesn't sound good, and there's no denial from Microsoft. So that is definitely a very, very bad thing indeed, and we'll have to wait and see how that kind of turns out, if that's going to be something that kind of ends up hampering what Microsoft is trying to do or whatever. Yeah, it looks bad. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. Rack 'em up. Crap Gamer out.